Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacey and I'm an infidelity recovery coach who specializes in helping the unfaithful in their affair and prevent relapse. I'm so glad you decided to join me. If you would like more information on how you can work with me, please check the description box below. Now let's get into today's video. So today's video is a question that I do get pretty regularly. So I thought I would just do a video about it and, answer the question. So today's question is, why did my affair partner ghost me? Okay, so there are 5 reasons, many more I'm sure, but 5 I find are the most common and 5 that I can relate to the most myself. So let me tell you a little bit about my story, this part. I had no intentions of ghosting my affair partner. That's not what I really wanted to do or set out to do. I guess it just kind of happened, and it was the best thing that I could do. It was the easiest choice that I could make for myself. And of course, I know it sounds very selfish. So let me just tell you a little bit about what happened. I was having the affair. Most of you know my story. Had the affair a year long. And I had tried to get out a couple of times, was not successful. And then I prayed. I remember, I was crying, and I remember God, whispering in my ear, so to speak, telling me, if you ask me to get you out, I will. And at that moment, I was in so much pain. I told him, I said, okay, get me out. So then about 2 weeks after that, we were on the phone, we was having a conversation, and he was very upset. He was, upset that he didn't have any feelings for his wife left. And, it was getting harder and harder for him to not, want us to be together full time. But he knew it was going to take a while for his divorce to be final, and then of course for mine and all of that. So he was just telling me about that on the phone. But what it was doing for me, and I believe what God was doing, was he was opening my eyes to see the pain and to see that, hey, this was really real. So I began to see the pain that I was putting my family through, my husband especially, my kids, and then I could see what I was doing to his family and his wife and his kids. And then, I thought about him. I thought, if I keep doing this, I'm just stringing him along at this point, because at that point, even though I was still in love with him, I wanted to be with my husband. I didn't want to end my marriage. So I didn't want to continue to hurt him and string him along. And I knew that the longer we would stay together, that I would eventually end up hurting him, because I would eventually walk away. And if he was getting that attached, and of course I knew I was very much attached, but I knew if he was getting that attached, that it was just going to be even more painful. So that night on the phone, he said, I love you, and I didn't respond. I didn't say anything. But this is kind of like, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but anyways, my husband called him a couple of days later, and he realized at that point that we had been discovered, and, that kind of thing. So I don't know that he ever really knew that I wanted to end the affair. I don't think that he did. I think he thought we got caught, and maybe I just decided, along the way, that I just wasn't going to go back to him at any point, and I just wanted to make my marriage work. So it's not something that I'm happy about. I thought about a lot, that I wish I would have handled it better. But when I look back at the times that I tried to end it, he would always cry or he would say, I can make a way, you know, I can get like a fake phone, or I can do this, or I can do that. And, you know, that was all great. And I would give in because I was a people pleaser. So of course I would give in to him and say, okay, you know, because he was really my best friend at that time. And I was his. So I didn't want to hurt him. I didn't want to, you know, continue to watch him cry. So I think some of that is the reasons why I went down that avenue. I mean, I saw an opportunity. I believe God opened the door from, like, he made a way of escape for me, and I just took it. But, you know, that's kind of coming from my point of view of why I did what I did or chose to do what I did. I really didn't know what else to do or how to get out because I was so weak. Like, if he would tell me, if he would cry or if he would say something, I knew I couldn't stand up to that. So, you know, I just did what I thought was the best thing for my family. So a couple of reasons that I wrote down, I think can be some of the reasons why your affair partner may ghost you. And I understand that it can leave you with so many questions, so much confusion, and just trying to replay it in your mind. What happened? And now I can't get this out of my head. Was this real? Was it not? Those things are real. Those questions are real. Your feelings are valid. But I'm here to help you through that. So if you find like that you're stuck in that cycle of what happened, I just don't understand it, reach out to me, schedule an appointment, because I don't want you to get stuck in that. No one should be, it should not take anyone longer than a year to get over their affair partner. Really, by 6 months, if you do the work, then you should be much better, much better. But let's get into those reasons that I discovered. So the first one would be guilt. A lot of people start feeling the weight of guilt, especially Christians. You know, the conviction can become really strong, really heavy. This is wrong. I can't do it anymore. And the weight of the guilt and the pressure and the power struggle stage that goes on between people who are having an affair can get so heavy and become such a burden. It's just, I have to get out of here. Like, I can't handle this situation anymore, and I'm doing the best that I can do for me. And essentially, that's what we think when we're having an affair. I'm doing the best that I can for me. Okay, you know, both sides. The second one would be that they reconnected with their spouse. Now, some spouses, some betrayed spouses, like for you to end it and send the email, send a text message and say it's over. Some, they don't want you to have any more contact, and they would rather you just ghost them and, like, you know, it's either us, you know, it's either me or them, and you need to make a decision, and that's it. So they may reconnect with their spouse, and they may do whatever that their spouse tells them to do. And they may feel that it's just easier to just walk away. The next one can be, you know, trouble with conflict, having trouble communicating. Remember, you're having an affair. Both of you are having an affair. And what happens is infidelity reveals that we have an insecure attachment style. And what that means is our attachment styles are how we show up in a relationship, how we interact with each other. So if you have an insecure attachment style, chances are you're going to have unhealthy coping behaviors. You're not going to learn how to communicate well. And that's not just with the marriage, that's in the affair relationship too. You're not going to know how to communicate well with each other. And if someone is wanting to end the affair, and let's say they're a fearful avoidant, then they may want to run. Like, I feel trapped, I have to get out of here, and I'm bolting, and I've had enough. And they may just split, and that's it. You don't hear from them. You don't get the answers you're looking for. They're just done because, again, that's how their attachment style shows up. And what that means essentially is their core wounds causes them to show up in relationships in unhealthy ways, handle conflict in unhealthy ways, handle pressure, handle guilt, you know, handle, oh, I'm in love with you and I really would like to be with you, but I can't, you know, handle all these things. How is this person going to handle that? And a lot of people will just walk away. They're going to run. You know, I have to get out. No offense to you, but I'm just thinking about me. And remember, when we're having an affair, we're thinking about me. Like, I'm thinking what's best for me. Your affair partner's thinking about what's best for them. It's very selfish relationship in nature. So it's not surprising when people, like when your affair partner ghosts you. I know it can be to us and it's very painful, but essentially it's not, it's not a surprise. The next one is the spouse suspects an affair. And with that, then that person can just completely stop talking to you. If their spouse suspects an affair, if they suspect that your spouse suspects an affair, they're like, okay, I am going underground. I am going to just disappear. I don't want any connection with this. The best thing is I don't want this found out. Your spouse could find out and theirs not know. And then they're like, I'm out of here because I don't want to take the chance of your, spouse telling mine. So they're like, I'm just done. I'm blocking you. I'm cutting off all contact. And that's it. I'm hiding on social media. I don't want my wife knowing or my husband knowing. So that's another reason why they can ghost you. And the last one is they don't want to hurt you, and with this one, I didn't really want to hurt mine. I didn't want to hurt him anymore, but I was thinking more long-term hurt than the short-term of ghosting him. And I probably should have just said, hey, this is over, but I couldn't. So, I didn't. But one of my main drivers was I didn't want to hurt anybody anymore. And I didn't want to hurt myself anymore either. So, that's just some reasons why I feel like, or what I've learned, and even from my own experience, why people ghost you, when you're having an affair, why you're just disappearing. And there's reasons, there's reasons. But I'm not saying those reasons are right. I'm not saying it's right to do that. But I'm saying that there are reasons why it happens. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it helped to answer some of your questions. If you have any questions, or like I said, if you would like to work with me, check the description box below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.